today's Barebow form series video, we're actually going to be shooting our bow finally, and that's why I'm putting my arm guard and finger sling and tab on. So today we're actually going to be talking about the execution or expansion phase of the KSL shot cycle, and finally we'll be able to shoot some arrows. This is a continuation of my Barebow form series explaining to you how to apply the KSL shot cycle or the NTS system to Barebow Archery. I'll have links in the description below for the rest of the playlist, plus a card at the top up there for you to check out. I would definitely recommend starting there before you get into this video. But in this one here, we're going to actually be talking about expansion. How to, I guess we're not setting a clicker off, but how to get to the point of letting go of the string. Up until this point, we've covered everything from stance, hook, grip, posture, load, anchor, transfer, and now we are to the point of ready to actually shoot. So this video is going to be kind of difficult for me to translate, quote unquote, because Barebow is very individualistic. As everybody knows, there is no right or wrong way to do it. Ultimately, it's just trying to have fun while shooting archery. So, you know, I can explain my process and explain some other modifications that you might make for yourself, but the general principles, the general guidelines of what I'm going to be talking about will apply to just about any style or way of executing your shot. And, you know, that could be depending on what your cue is, or physical trigger or psycho trigger, or whatever you use that tells you to actually let go of the string. Even if it's just you saying, okay, let go of the string, that's also okay too. What I'm going to outline here will help your shooting regardless of the type of way that you shoot. Personally, I use a psycho trigger. I use a grip sear to tell me when to shoot, basically. And, you know, it applies the same to everything else. You just have to modify it for your particular way of shooting the shot. Expansion or execution of the actual shot, you know, how to properly do it applies the same to everyone. I have specifically talked about the intensity shot cycle previous to this video. I released that recently. If you haven't seen it yet, please do check it out. Linked in the description below and a card up there, because it really kind of sets the tone of how we are going to get into expansion, and, you know, the level of intensity, the level of like how hard you're pushing to make the shot happen is all super important, and I covered that in the intensity shot cycle video. So how to execute the shot. I can't tell you what your cue is. You know, or hopefully know, or are in the search of that. Like I said, I use a grip sear. So I hook my fingernail on the edge of the grip here, and I pull against the grip until my clicker clicks or my fingernail pops off like that. And that tells me when to shoot. Now, the actual other parts of an expansion and execution of the shot is what I am actually physically trying to do. And what I am trying to do is not just let go of the string. What I am trying to do is focus on how the shot feels after a good shot happens. So that means when I go to let go and release and follow through, how does it feel back here? Like, what am I going for to get to this shot? Yes, release is happening somewhere in between from full draw to this, but that is part of it. It is not the action that I am trying to strive for. What I am striving for is finishing the shot. So having the perception and the thought process of thinking about the finish point, the focal point of how does it feel when I shoot a good shot and it went exactly how I wanted it to. That is what you should be thinking about and pushing towards while you're at full draw. So not controlling anything else before the shot and how you got into full draw and things like that, because again, transfer separated that loading phase from the execution phase, and now we're only focusing on how to finish the actual shot. So while I'm at full draw, after I have transferred, I am now aiming, I've leveled my bow, I've set my string alignment, I've done all that, and I'm still pushing towards this finish position here. I have argued many times against the static dead release. I argue that is absolutely a collapse or a pluck in disguise, and I do have videos for that too. I should have a link in the description below for that one in case you're interested. But in a nutshell, the way I actually try to get to this position here is while I am at full draw, I am actually pulling a little bit as I'm at full draw. It's almost like, if you've ever shot compound, it's like pulling against the draw stops. You know that there's a wall there, and you know you can't pull any further unless it's a soft cam or, cam and a half. But if it's like a limb stop, it's a hard wall. You physically cannot pull any further. If you kind of think of that type of feeling while at full draw, I'm not actually expanding and trying to like pull back an extra 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch or even an 1/8 of an inch. I'm not even trying to pull back anymore. All I'm doing is I'm pulling against the wall that I feel of my draw weight and just increasing that tension against it ever so slightly, heading towards the direction of the finish of the shot. That's what I'm trying to do, and that's what I'm thinking about at full draw. If you're not trying to add a little bit while at full draw, I guarantee that you will lose draw length. You will creep, and that will start to allow you to pluck and collapse on release. And so your follow through is going to be like this instead of clean and nice and strong. Now, I think that, and I really truly believe this, that if you're not pulling more, you're not adding a little bit more tension, you're not trying to draw back that last little bit and push and help to finishing the shot, then the shot will not finish ideally. So I'll shoot an arrow here, and I'll try my best to talk through it while I'm at full draw so you can kind of see it in real time and in real life. So I've got my posture, my hook and grip, and my stance. Address the target. Set up, load, set my grip sear, anchor, transfer, string alignment, aim, push, 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 push. So even though the shot ended when I let go, meaning I had no more input on that arrow, you still heard me say push, 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 push after I released, because the whole idea is to not let the shot end when you let go of the string. Because if it does, it just really sets you up for allowing disturbances in the shot, allows you to make mistakes and make changes right at that last second, instead of really focusing on bang, finishing and making sure you hit that wall, you hit the finish. Helping it and pushing it towards the finish will really remove any sort of mistakes. The body has a lot of amazing built-in mechanisms that allow you to make these micro adjustments right at the last second when things are going slightly wrong. So instead of focusing on the point that matters, the release, and focusing past that on the follow-through, it'll allow the release to kind of happen second nature and be more automated, and your body will do amazing corrections to make that arrow go closer to the center. So I'm going to do it one more time for you to see, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit more on what I'm trying to do internally. So again, hook grip, stance, posture, set up, load, grip sear, anchor, transfer, push, 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 push. So the shot does not end when I let go of the string. The shot does not end when my finger pops off the grip sear edge. The shot ends when I finish the shot. When I am no longer saying push, that is when my shot ends. So what am I actually doing while at full draw, and how am I actually expanding? What I'm doing is very similar to the physical step of transfer. That is taking land 2, the posterior deltoid area, and pushing it kind of parallel to the shooting line behind me, around and behind me, kind of hinging around that way. So it's adding a little bit more tension, and I'm actually kind of pulling back. As that's happening, my anchor is tightening against my face. I'm pulling in, and I might be adding a little bit of bicep tension to keep it tight against my face. The string is sitting there right on my face. I'm not actually sliding back or increasing tension or pushing harder against my nose. The hand is kind of burying in and up and like just tightening that anchor against my face. And the front half is reaching towards the target. This barrel of the gun that I've talked about earlier, or your alignment, this shoulder to this wrist, this front wrist, in a line pushing towards the target. What I feel of the barrel of the gun is the barrel of the gun kind of almost shifting towards the target and slightly moving that direction towards the target. Well, that direction towards the target. And pushing that intensity and that energy and that focus of tension and direction towards where I want the arrow to go. So if I'm aiming in the center, you and the camera is my target and my finger is my arrow, I'm taking this and I'm pushing my energy right in the center. If it's deviating and moving and doing these things, it doesn't matter. What I'm trying to do is push it towards you. So I'm feeling the tension and direction of the barrel of the gun through the pressure of the grip, and I'm pushing that where I want the arrow to go, no matter what the sight picture is doing. So I'm doing that in addition to adding a little bit back here. But my main focus is on this front half. I argue that pushing more and having a super strong bow arm is really, really, really important. It's not pushing like this, it's just kind of bracing against the shot, and as I'm coming around, I'm also driving forward at the same time, and I'm trying to really make the bow jump exactly in the direction that I want the arrow to go. You can get away with a lot when you do that, and it's something that a lot of people, when they finally learn how to do it, are shocked at the results. So I'll do it one more time for you to see, but I'm not going to over-exaggerate how often I am saying push at the end. I will tell you exactly when the shot ends because I will stop saying push. Now it might be on completion when I say push and the shot is shh. It ends on the sh of push. So that may happen. Just so you know, but I'll do my best to do it again. I'm going to let this helicopter pass so you can hear me better. Hook grip, stance, posture, set up, load, grip sear, anchor, transfer, push, 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 push. There, that's it. Super simple, super straightforward. Just don't let the shot end when you let go of the string. You keep going until you are done with the shot and you focus on that last end bit, that last point, and you push towards that finish. You really kind of give it help that direction. Now, what do we do after the shot? You know, how do we analyze the shot? How do we make changes on the next one? Or do we do any of that at all? The reflection phase of the shot cycle is equally as important as any other step within the KSL shot cycle. It is really critical and really important because it gives you a moment after you've shot your shot to think, how did that feel? How did it go? Or if it went really well, how do I do it again? And really what it allows you to do, it allows you to analyze how it went, how it felt, and then how to make adjustments. So if you notice that your hand on the finish is a little further out than it normally is, you can then say, I probably plucked a little, or maybe I collapsed and then plucked, or something, and you'll feel the tension a little different in your back compared to shots previous or compared to ideal. And so what you should do is take a moment after every shot to analyze how did it feel, how did it go, and how can I improve upon it. If you've noticed you've collapsed the shot like this and you've just totally botched it, don't be so negative and don't be hard on yourself, but be positively reinforcing. I need to make sure I maintain my back tension through release and follow through. I need to make sure that the shot to me does not end when I let go of the string. I end the shot when I finish the shot. And instead of saying I collapsed and plucked, instead of your body hearing don't do this, it will not think about don't. It will just think about do this. So trying to frame it in a positive way of finish the shot strong, really commit to transfer, really commit to how I'm going to finish the shot and help it go that direction. That is really, really a better way to do it and a much healthier way to approach how to make slight changes in your form. So follow through is not an action, it is a reaction of the shot itself. The last action is letting go of the string, but the movement and the motion that you do after the shot is really a reaction because it's essentially recoil. It's basically the bow is shot and all the tension that you've built up inside of your body is now released, and so your body can move and do these things that it's not doing while at full draw. And what that will show you is your potential errors, your potential misfocuses on the wrong thing or, things that just aren't important. And you'll notice, like, say when you release that the body does this and there's this type of follow through instead of this type of follow through. That shows you that you lost your tension while at full draw. Or if you notice that you rock back when you let go. That tells you that you are pulling more than you're pushing. And in order for you to not move when you let go, nice and stable and still like I do, you need to have a balance of power. Whatever you're pulling with, you must push with. Whatever you're pushing with, you must pull with. Although I've never seen anybody do this when they let go, unless they're an amateur and they're trying to like throw the arrow faster. That doesn't really help at all. But you know, this is a common thing because a lot of people pull a whole lot and not a lot of people have this rotational balance of power on both sides. So as you can see, the release is a reaction, not an action, and what you do with that is super important. Real quick, if you're interested in some of the apparel that I have that is Barebow specific, I will have links in the description below for all my Teespring stuff as well. There should be a bar across the bottom of this video where it has a slider of a couple of different selections that I have that are Barebow specific. I also have links on my website, jakekaminski.com, on where you can get this apparel and all the different designs that I have. I appreciate everybody that has supported me in this channel over the past basically couple years because I'm really trying to produce really quality free content for everybody to absorb. Between apparel sales and coaching and book sales and all that stuff and Patreon and all the donations and everything, it really helps and it allows me to produce a lot more of this content for free, and it'll allow me to produce better and more content in the future for sure. So thanks for checking out my apparel and things like that. I appreciate it. If you're looking for an extra resource on the KSL shot cycle or the NTS system, I'll have links in the description below for a book called Total Archery. It's written by my coach, Keesik Lee, as well as an old teammate of mine, Tyler Benner. And basically it just breaks down how to apply the NTS system to Olympic-style recurve. As you've seen so far in this series, a lot of it, the vast majority of it, applies one-to-one to Barebow style archery with a few slight changes there. So yeah, like I said, if you're interested in a different resource and you want to have a manual or something like that, do check that out and consider grabbing it. It is a well-written book and has a lot of details and a lot of pictures on this actual shooting style. So seeing how we've basically covered the KSL shot cycle, NTS system, Barebow application, I would highly recommend going back to the beginning of the series and starting it all over again, because the more you listen to it and the more you watch it, the easier it is going to be to implement everything together. And you'll see how a lot of the pieces of the puzzle will start to fit together and will allow and enhance the next steps to be better and better. So these videos will be on my YouTube channel for forever for everybody to reference for free. And like I said, I cannot thank my Patreon supporters and channel members and things like that enough, because it's genuinely allowing me to produce this content for everybody out there to view for free. So thank you very much.